Well, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, indeed. It's
Oh,
raining here.
Alex de Grassi. So nice of you to join me here
Yeah,
on Monday Live. So it's raining where you are. So where are you hailing in from?
I'm at home in Mendocino County in Northern California, and we're meant to get a heavy rain, and it seems like it's pretty just begun. So, yeah,
Well, here in Nashville, we had a little sleet in the morning, but it seems to be just generally cool and gray. You know, the typical February.
yeah,
We're starting February with a very typical weather here.
yeah.
And so, you know, it's funny. I was talking to Stanley Jordan just last night about, how musicians can come together to really encourage optimism. And it's something that our music does without us really knowing it. And I think that you kind of embody that in a lot of the music that you do, you know?
Oh, well,
And
that's
so
good to know. I'm glad
I just
to hear
feel that way when I hear your music, There's a good energy.
that. Good, good. Well, hopefully that's something that all musicians do to a certain extent. I mean, there's all kinds of music, obviously, but yeah, I think music. I mean, it's been said so many times, it's kind of trite, but it is the international language. It doesn't need translation, and for that, I think that makes it readily accessible to all kinds of people. I try to do a little storytelling in my music, so I like to think that one of my strengths may be being able to suck people into some kind of a story or a sense of being somewhere, a sense of place, and all that. So yeah, but to me, that's what music is about. It's sharing something, and of course, it's a challenge these days online. But I think we're all learning kind of how to improve that, in whatever it is. Whether it's sound or lighting or just starting to feel like we are actually connected, even though there's nobody else in this room. And when I finish playing, I won't hear anything except maybe you saying, "That was good."
Hopefully, right? Well, let's say hi to some of the people and let us know how the sound is coming out to you, because we can't know from where we are how the sound is coming out, clear over the internet. So Michael is here, Michael Robbins, yep, and Joe says hi from Southern California, okay, at the other end of California, and Carol, yes, and she is a Windham Hill fan, so later on Alex will have you talk about some of your experience with Windham Hill. That was a big venture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gary says hi from Flagstaff. And Tom is here as well from New Jersey. So, okay, and says sound is good. Okay, so far so good.
All right.
All right. Well, Alex, I would love you to play something. Maybe
Yeah.
play us a story.
Okay. Well, this one I'm going to actually play you the title track from my most recent recording, which came out in last year, and it's called "The Bridge." And there is a story, because the bridge in question is an actual bridge on the North Coast. It's the oldest wooden trestle bridge. Well, I shouldn't say the oldest. It's the only remaining wooden trestle bridge on the West Coast. And it spans, I know it's only about 1,000 feet long, but it's almost 200 feet high. It's very narrow. It's all wood except for one little steel span. And it goes across the mouth of the Albion River, which is 7 miles south of Mendocino for people who know this area. And, it goes across a bay which used to be one of the many bays in which they loaded up redwood logs back in the 19th century and all up into the early 20th century to either float them or load them onto schooners and take them down to San Francisco and build houses with them. And if you've ever been in San Francisco, seen all those old quasi-Victorians or Queen Anne's, whatever they call them, and I used to live in one of those, and we stripped it down and do some remodeling, and once you get the plaster or the drywall off the walls, you see that all the framing, everything, it's redwood, and it's the legacy of people having discovered and unfortunately overlogged the wood as well. And now that redwood is the logs that sank in those rivers, like the Albion River, have been dredged up in more recent history, and a lot of builders are using the heartwood of that to make tops for guitars. And this is a Loudon guitar, and George Loudon comes every other year there to look for old milled logs. And so anyway, I'm getting off the story a little bit here, but we have a little place out there, and I spent some time out there and was looking at the bridge out the window, and just wrote this piece. And it was sort of inspired by this little fast section in the middle that goes, and it was sort of reminiscent of it made me think of the lights flickering through the uprights of the rails of the bridge, and wondering, where is everybody going? So here we go. This is called The Bridge. Folks, let me pick this up. Sorry about that, folks. I lost my my little cradle here. So
it must have been the redwood.
It was it was one of those. I ran into one of those sinker logs. Okay, here we go. I'm going to just take that again for the time.
That's fine. All right. Yeah.
Well, sorry about the rough. Thank you. Sorry
no,
for the
that's
rough start.
That's okay. Well, Mondays aren't a performance, so I let people know that Monday is just when we get together, we try new things, we say hi to y'all there. I see Donald has signed on there, and Michael says, "Hey, Bonnie, our longtime friend, is here as well, and Sarah, right. And also, Alex, to get together with you again, because, I would love to get together for real. I mean, when I remember at the camp in Mendocino, it's so beautiful. A lot of just wonderful wilderness, big trees.
Yeah.
It just has a feel to it with the greatness of those trees.
Yeah. It's a wonderful place to get away. We moved up here from San Francisco some years ago, and we just to try something different, and we ended up staying. So we've been here for over 25 years now. And,
yeah.
Well, time just flies.
Yeah.
When you're having a good time. Yeah. I don't know what we're going to do this summer. The camp, thing is very sketchy. With the status of the pandemic, and of course, these things take planning in advance. There's we dovetail in with our Mendocino Guitar Workshop. We dovetail in with the Mendocino Music Festival, and they're kind of up for grabs this year as well. It's a wonderful festival. It goes on for 2 weeks. Everything from a resident orchestra with visiting soloists to jazz concerts to world music to bluegrass to guitar concerts, and so it's a wonderful festival, but like everything else in the world right now, everything's kind of in a state of limbo. So
yeah, it is, isn't it? So and I guess, how do people stay in touch with you to so they can find out when you're doing that again, and when things are opening back up?
Well, we may do we usually do it in July. I think we had scheduled it for July 11th through 18th for this year, and I have a feeling we're going to end up doing it virtually. Last year we just canceled because we didn't have enough time to pull together even a virtual event. But this year we can. So if they go to MendocinoGuitarWorkshop.com, that's our website for the workshop. They can also go to degrassi.com, and it's posted on there as well. And we just sent out a newsletter I think just yesterday, and we mentioned that we're going to do one thing or the other, but nobody has any answers right now, so stay tuned.
Oh yeah. Well, I just got a little note from Stanley. And Alex, what did you do to enter into the studio? You had to click something, like click enter studio.
Oh, I had to get the test box out of the way, window out of the way, so I could see the enter into studio.
The enter into studio. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's watching, and I'm gonna invite him maybe to stop in and say a word. We did mention that we were just talking the other day about getting together with other musicians and
well, I just did something with the Earth Institute at Columbia University last week, and the moderator, there was another guitarist on the show, a young woman, really fine gypsy jazz player named Sarah Labriolo, I think, and he suggested, hey, I know you guys can't play together in real time because of the delay in the signals, but you could play kind of off each other. And there's Stanley.
Stanley, oh. Great, Stanley, can you? I'm getting a little echo.
Echo, okay. I think I have echo cancellation.
Okay, great.
Just a moment.
All right. So,
okay,
so
how's that?
That was a.
Is the echo?
We did.
Yeah, go
Sorry.
ahead.
We did. Sarah and I ended up playing a little bit together. So, Now I'm hearing echo.
Stanley, turn your microphone off. How about that? Yeah, let's see if that'll work. Okay, how's that?
Yeah, the echo's gone, so it must be.
Okay, Must be on. All right.
Must be going all the way to wherever Stanley is. And
Well,
bouncing
greetings, Stanley. Let's all say hi, Stanley. Okay, everyone. Hey, Stanley.
off. Stanley. How's it going? I remember the three of us played together at a music festival in Italy a few years back.
Oh,
We were all in the same bill together in one of those many castles, you know.
Oh yes, I love those castles in Italy.
They're great. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's right. Stanley. That was the first time I'd seen you in like a few years, and then we kind of reconnected there in Italy when we were all there at that festival.
Right. Do you remember where that was?
You know, I know
Alex.
it was near Ferrari, and so it was like in the north central part of the country. Parma, Ferrari, somewhere, but it wasn't. It was a smaller little village, and the castle was the main thing there. But I remember driving by the Ferrari factory while I was, so I know it was close to there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Stanley, we were just talking about what Alex is doing with his workshops in Mendocino, and you have been spending this time doing some incredible things. I've sat in on some of your integrated arts programs. Yeah, they're just amazing.
Yeah. I say integral arts.
Yes.
Similar concept though. But yeah, thank you. Thanks. It's always a great pleasure to have you join us for those.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, so what's that about?
Well, I have actually some workshops coming up. Starting on Saturday, I have 3 6-week workshops coming up. One is sort of, I don't know, I guess we could call it sort of Stanley Jordan Jazz Guitar 101. It's like kind of everything that makes my music what it is, everything that goes into it. So it, of course, includes technique and theory. It also includes my learning methods, and it also includes just sort of the philosophy of how I approach things. Another one of the courses is in my touch technique.
Yeah.
And so that, I think, speaks for itself. And a lot of people have been asking about that. So this is the first time that I'm teaching a workshop on that topic. And then I have another one, which is, the title is something like Introduction to 21st Century Harmony Using the Jordan Chromatic System. It's kind of a long title, but the idea is that I have this way of thinking that I've been using ever since basically the mid-70s about harmony, and I'm sharing this for the first time. I've included it a little bit in the other stuff that I've done, but this is the first course that really features that. If anybody wants to find out more about that, they can come to Integral Arts Academy. Just remember my name, so it's stanleyjordan.com, and from the home page, you can get to Integral Arts Academy. And I have to say, forget the advertising plug. This is from the heart. This truly is my life's work, because it includes not only the music, but everything that went into my inspiration to being a musician. I'm in music because I want to make the world a better place. The music that inspired me when I was young was music that was about trying to improve life on the planet, improve the conditions for people. And so I kind of dedicated myself to that all along. So I'm approaching it not just from the craft of teaching music to musicians, but I also have come to well, it's not just a feeling, but I know this to my core, that we artists have a wisdom that the world needs. And sometimes they don't listen to us as much as they should, but I really truly believe that we have the key to a lot of the answers that people are looking for right now. Because I'll just mention a couple of things. One thing is that artists understand that manifestation moves from the inside out. So we nurture the inner world. We honor the inner world. We're not ashamed of our crazy visions and the stuff we think about, because all the great works of art started in somebody's imagination. So what I'm trying to do is pull together all of the different fields of knowledge and relate it in specific ways to the arts. And I'm putting people together to help do this so that we can show how the arts can be a foundation for understanding everything under the sun, and not just the understanding, but the methodology of how you go about things. Artists know it's not enough to just get the job done. You got to do it with style. You got to put a vibe on it. You got to have that flair. It's got to be integral because it's got to include every faculty. It's not just a left brain kind of thing, which our society seems to be so obsessed with as a legacy from our fractured 20th century that's so long gone. That's so last millennium, you know? So people get what we need to do. And I really feel that if I can make everybody an artist on one level or another, even if you're not professional, even if you're not super talented, but if you can nurture the artist within and then use that to inform how you go about your life or your vocation, whatever it is, then I truly believe that the world is going to be a better place. And what we can do is we can co-create the future that we know we all deserve as a work of art. You know, why not? So that's the whole purpose of Integral Arts Academy.
Oh, that's a great thing. I mean, you both are doing such cool things, and so my one thing that I have happening right now is we just put some chocolate fudge on the website. So for Valentine's Day, you can get chocolate fudge. So
Awesome.
yeah,
And that's a culinary art, of course.
right.
cool.
Well, yeah, the culinary arts are a big part of, you know, my music these days. You know, where everything seems to be tied in with cooking. You know, with the Acoustic Chef project, and then the Acoustic Sailing project. You know, where we're tying that in. But I'll play a tune. Maybe because I was just talking to Alex about how we're trying out some new things on these Monday nights, and I thought about one tune that's you know, came from a very deep place some years ago, and I hadn't tried it on this instrument, so I think it would have a whole different flavor playing it on this harp guitar that's tuned up a step, and then maybe we could jam on something together. We could try that. A little back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm open to it. I mean, I
Okay,
can't
cool.
talk, but I do have a guitar here. So
Excellent. Well, let's do that. All right. Well, I'll play my tune first, and then we'll see if we can do a little call and response jam. All right. This is Two Shores.
Love it, love it.
Oh,
Nice.
thanks.
You've got that artificial harmonic thing down well. You know, it's interesting. That's a technique I never used. I've used it a very, very small amount. I mean, it's a wonderful technique, and it just reminds me there's so many ways to play the guitar. There's so many ways to produce sound. I think, you know, that's for me anyway, and I think for a lot of us, that's the attraction of playing guitar.
Right. Well,
As
Stanley's
opposed to a keyboard or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Stanley's come up with an entirely different way from the rest of us too.
Oh yeah, well, for sure.
Well, and you know, I started out as a piano player,
Yeah.
and one of the things that attracted me to guitar is just the thing you're talking about, Alex. The fact
Yeah.
that it's so personal. When I love piano, don't get me wrong, but I feel on piano like I'm kind of at a console pushing buttons. So when I play guitar,
Yeah.
I'm holding the vibration in my hands, and I feel it's more personal.
Yeah, it's that contact with the vibration itself, I think, you know.
Yeah.
And you know,
By the way,
I started out playing trumpet when I was a kid, and you know, there's a vibration there too. But it was a bit, it was too much for me. The guitar was more to my feeling. So, yeah.
Yes.
by the way, so, I'm sorry, but Alex, I just want to say one thing because I'm a fan of your music too, and when I did my first album on a major label, it was Magic Touch, and we were trying to choose the best engineer for the album, and I brought one of your albums in,
Oh,
and I said I've been listening to this a lot lately, and this is kind of like my model for like gorgeous sounding guitar. Can you get my guitar to sound that good? And he listened. He said, "Yeah, I think I can do it." I said, "Okay, you're my guy. You can make me sound like Alex de Grassi. We're good."
all right.
Great.
Cool.
Great.
Well, you know, things have come a long way. I mean, it's interesting because the technology's come a tremendous way since then in terms of being able to reproduce sound and ways we listen to it and so forth. But still, the intent, you know, is really, to me, what's important. You know, I mean, the content and the intent, and that goes for engineering as well, because you can have all the best equipment in the world, but if you don't have somebody who's passionate about the way it should sound and has the the ability, the insight to make it sound a certain way, it's still going to sound. I mean, that's what makes good recordings. It's you go back. There's some great recordings from the 30s, and people say, "Oh, that's old technology," but boy, there's some amazing engineering going on back then too.
Yes, true.
Yeah. Well, Alex, do you have a song that we can jam on? And do you have should we do it randomly, or should I answer and then Stanley answer, or what are your thoughts on that?
Stanley, Muriel and I were talking. I had suggested that we kind of riff off the song Shenandoah. It's a classic folk song, and I think most people know it. And I have a little arrangement that's kind of improvisational anyway. And I thought if I played just the head, which is maybe 30, 40 seconds long, and then we kind of went around and just played off it. You don't even have to play the tune. Just play something, whatever comes to mind, some improv, and we'll just see where it ends up.
Okay. I'll get
sound?
my guitar. Sounds great.
All right.
So this is Shenandoah. Should I go ahead, Stanley? Should we get started, or do you need
Sure.
a moment?
Just give me just a moment.
All right.
Well, Stanley,
I've been playing some
mute.
electric guitar too lately, and a lot of ukulele. So that's been part of my COVID activity, and I have a uke here. Maybe I'll get a chance to play it a little bit. It's got holes in it, but it's still pretty good.
Wow. Well, Brian has been playing his harp-a-lele a little bit, ukulele harp.
All right.
In fact, we'll have him on a little bit later to talk about the acoustic sailing. That's his big project that we're doing together.
Wow.
And so maybe someday we can all get on a sailboat, make some music together, and have an adventure at the same time.
That sounds fun. So this is the crazy Fred Carlson symphotar. It has 12 additional sympathetic strings like a sitar, and that's what gives it the sound.
Can you hear my guitar?
Oh,
It's a little loud. So it
Yeah,
needs
you
to come
might
down
wanna
quite a
bring it
bit,
down a hair.
or several hairs.
Multiple hairs.
Okay. There we go.
All right. Here we go. Shenandoah. All right.
Oh, that was fun. Boy, it's almost like getting together for real, isn't it?
It is. It's almost.
Almost, almost. Yeah.
So,
Well, Brian, do you want to pop in here just for a second? And I promised I'd let you.
I want
Talk
to hear
a little
about
bit about-
acoustic sailing.
Yeah, just really quickly. Yeah. So.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, Alex. Hey, Stanley.
Hey, Brian.
So, for those that haven't heard, we've got this sailing and music channel going, and you're going to see Muriel as you've never seen her before, trying to handle a 30-foot sloop. And the channel is called Acoustic Sailing with Brian and Muriel. And we're going to have a little incentive, a shameless incentive, because we like comments on the videos. So we're going to offer some of your aunt and uncle's fudge.
Yeah, Brian is buying some of my aunt and uncle's fudge to give to his favorite comment on.
Favorite comment on any of the videos.
Right, it's a contest, a comment contest.
Shameless bid for comments, but it's
You're
a worthy
stimulating the
prize.
economy
The
at
fudge
the
is
same time.
excellent.
Yeah, that's right.
And the link is where?
Um,
to the channels and
the link, it's on that website on my murielanderson.com/now. We'll have a link right there. And also, Stanley and Alex, if there's anything that you want to link there right after the show, I'll link there. And also, our friend Victor Wooten is going to have a book release live stream right after this, really, at 7 o'clock.
Oh.
So I'll just...
that would be Central
another
Time.
one of our tribe. Yeah, Central Time.
Do you know anything about his new book?
His new book, he told me it's a sequel to the old book, and it's a little different character. So it's a little more adventurous in some ways, I guess. A little more edgy than the first book. So I'm really curious to see what it's about and see what he says in the live stream. So
I enjoyed his first book.
me too.
I'm trying to remember the title, but
The Music Lesson.
Music lesson.
yeah,
Yes.
it was cool.
I went to one of his summer camps, and we did an interesting thing because we played together, some jazz standard or something, and it was nice. And then he said, "Okay, now play again, but this time just totally screw it up. Like just play really badly. Just totally just mess the song up horribly." So we did, which was really fun. Then he said, "Okay, now let's go back and play the song regular again." And when we went back to play the song, it was so much better because we did the other thing. We got that thing out of our system that, oh, what if I play the wrong thing? Well, you just did play the wrong thing, so that's not even an issue anymore.
Yeah.
That's a good strategy for life too. Just be careful where you do it.
Right. Yeah, right. Well, you have to. I think it's not that different than saying you gotta experiment and you gotta push yourself.
Yeah.
And you can't be afraid if you want to grow as a musician. Probably as a human being too. So.
And this parallels what I'm discovering and passing on too about the lessons we learn in music are parallel to our life lessons. So if you approach music in the right way, it kind of forces you to upgrade your life. So the music helps the life, and the life helps the music.
Yeah. Well.
Looking forward to this book.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, we'll finish off here. Maybe I'll start off a little something in E minor that we can do something similar to, and then we can just see where it goes. Stanley, you can take it in a different direction if you like. And
Can I
Yes.
make a suggestion just
Sure.
because of the delay here that rather than actually try to play kind of together, maybe we could just do it in succession, so that you play and then Stanley jumps in and takes it wherever he's going to take it, and then I'll pick. It's more like a relay race,
Okay.
and then then it comes maybe go around a couple times and see where we end up. Yeah.
that
'Cause
sounds great.
I think that I did that the other day with this young woman, Sarah Labriola, great gypsy jazz guitar player, and it was really fun. It was really fun, and we just didn't know where it was going to go.
All right. Okay, well, if when we finish this, I'll go ahead and post any of your links there on the murielanderson.com/now page, and then maybe I'll pop over to Victor Wooten's little book release on his Facebook page. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. I wanted to leave it on a big major chord.
There you go.
Just because that's what we need. I think we need to leave everything on a major upbeat. Leave it on the upbeat.
Yeah.
The world needs the Picardy third.
Yeah, the Picardy third. Or
Excellent.
en el aire, como se dice en español.
I
And when
know
they
how
say,
to-
I always like
Yes.
that term when they say syncopation in at least in Latin American Spanish, they say en el aire. The beats. It's up in the air. It's
In
up
the
in
air.
the air. It's like whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are
And
just.
also, somebody did a study. I think they reported it on NPR. I don't know how scientific it was, but he said that he studied the music of different cultures, and he found that the cultures that colonized played on the beat, and the cultures that they colonized played on the offbeats.
Wow.
So we're trying to get people to play more offbeats,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
be so.
yeah. Syncopation is an indigenous thing, huh? So
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Well, I would love to keep this jam going for hours and hours. I don't know. Can we? I mean, the Monday nights are supposed to be a little half-hour bit. We're already over that, so let's plan to get together again. What do you think?
Yeah.
And do this again sometime soon, like really soon. All right. So, maybe drop in next week. Who knows? Yeah. So we're having Stephen Bennett next week. So maybe we can drop in and do that again with Stephen. That would be awesome. All right.
I'm playing a little
Right.
closing music.
Closing music.
I knew you had an ending, Stanley.
Well,
Well, great to hang with you guys.
great to hang with you. Oh, all right. We'll see you again soon, and I'll go ahead and post that stuff for you.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Thanks.
Ciao.
Thanks so much.
Ciao, ciao.
Thanks.